afternoon. I'm Dave Schwartz. This is Weather Center Live, and this is the venerable meteorologist Maria LaRosa.
Wow.
Standing in, I should say, for Alexandra Wilson.
I am. It's been a pleasure working with you today. My first time working with you, which has been awesome. So we've had a lot to talk about. It's been a busy afternoon for us.
Let's get right to weather, you know. A stormy afternoon across part of the south, and that rain is moving north and east.
And you do have some company in that stormy outlook with more on the threat for severe weather. Let's turn things over to Mike Bettis and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, in the lab. The ingredients are still there, guys.
Yeah, they are, and it looks like...
And as we mentioned, it's not just this week, it's the next few weeks in a lot of spots. The northern tier especially in that fire danger for many reasons, because you really have all of those ingredients that lead to that fire danger in place. And looking at the visible picture, basically you're taking a snapshot of the clouds here from space, and you see where it's dark, it's the lack of cloudiness. So we're not getting the rainfall or snowfall for that matter. And that's where we have the red flag warnings in effect, because you have the gusty winds too. Bismarck, Fargo, all the way down to central and southern Wisconsin, even into Indiana and Illinois. The wind gusts, they're there. They're about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Places like Fargo, Minneapolis, you've had a gust to 25 miles per hour, but it's incredibly dry. When you look at the relative humidity, it's the amount of moisture relative to the temperature. It's very low. Minneapolis at 16%, La Crosse at 14%. And as I mentioned, it's not just the Midwest and the northern tier, even the Northeast sort of facing that as well. The red flag warnings posted for the Philly metro, parts of the New York metro up to Albany and Springfield, all the way into interior Maine. Augusta with that red flag warning. Here too, we have the low humidity and the gusty winds, and no sign of rainfall, at least yet here in the Northeast, Dave. Absolutely, Dave, thank you. Now, it may be dry and dangerous in the Southwest, but in the Northwest, you're actually doing a calendar check. Critical fire weather conditions stretch from the Rockies through the plains into the upper Midwest, and with the winds gusting on the order of 40 miles per hour, you can imagine any fire that starts can expand rather quickly, as our own Stephanie Abrams explains. And those conditions are still present and still very much a concern through the northern tier and into the Midwest. And we'll show you a few other spots across the country that are also experiencing that. But the visible satellite imagery shows what we're not seeing. We're not seeing a lot of cloud cover. We're definitely not seeing the rainfall. So it's really, really dry and no immediate relief in that department. So those red flag warnings stretch all the way from Bismarck into Wisconsin, even Illinois and Indiana in on it. The winds are there. So that's still the problem. Out of the southeast here, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour right now reported in Fargo, but sustained winds closer to 30. Meanwhile, you have Minneapolis with 17 mile per hour winds. But again, that's just one part of the puzzle.
You know, Maria LaRosa, winter just refuses to go away. It refuses to go away. But one area is thrilled by that news.
Dave Schwartz, it's the ski resorts of Oregon that are thrilled to hear that. After a very rough winter season, they are taking advantage of the new snow on Mount Hood. Mark Hanrahan has more from Portland, Oregon, and our affiliate KGO. And we actually are tracking not only thunderstorms for today, but the potential for severe weather throughout the rest of this week. We want to turn it over to Mike Bettis and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And guys, you know, we're seeing a little bit pop in South Carolina, but not so much the area of organized concern, I guess you could say.
No, the area we're really trying.
It's pretty amazing to see those pictures, and then you see this live picture. This is snow falling and the wind blowing in Salt Lake City, enough now that you have the snow accumulating and reducing visibility, unfortunately, at the roadways. Some good news. I just checked the airport. No delays due to weather, so we're looking good so far. But yeah, even at lower elevations, snow making a comeback. Mount Hood in Oregon got some snow as well, nearly 9 inches in some areas, and absolutely a bonus for ski resorts. They're certainly happy about that, and some of them getting some bonus days to do some of that skiing. So as we take a look at the current conditions, it's not just Salt Lake, we'll show you that in a second, but also parts of Wyoming, Colorado, certainly we'll be watching over the next 24 hours for a good amount of snow. But kind of interesting setup here. You see the blue, it's coming right off and getting a little enhancement off of the Great Salt Lake, and the wind showing you too that there's a little bit of convergence here, and you see the darker blue, so a little added enhancement there for some of the snow. And so it's really coming down, reducing visibility, so watch out for that evening rush around Salt Lake City. It's much needed snow. They've had a snow drought, 5 inches since last night. Snowfall for the season, though, 14.6. And Dave, you can see the average for a season is just over 54 inches. They are way under the average.
Yeah, we really had a snow.
So rainfall since April 9th. Areas in orange and yellow, anywhere from more than 6 inches of rainfall to a place like Mobile, Alabama, more than 10 inches of rainfall. So no doubt any additional rainfall is going to be a burden, right? We've got it, an additional 3 to 5 in some of these very same places, but easily a good area, a good chunk of the south with at least 2 to 3 additional inches of rainfall over the next few days. The track is there, right? We have the pattern setting up, and when you say the Gulf of Mexico is open for business, there's nothing shutting it down, and so all of that moisture's getting pulled up in there. And so from Oklahoma City to Atlanta down into Tampa, Central and South Florida, all kind of in that wet pattern. But you see the red. By tomorrow, it's more than just the flash flooding, but it's also the severe threat. So let's talk about that storm threat with Mike Bettis and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes.
We're glad you joined us here this afternoon. Look who's working.
It's me.
Maria LaRosa is in for Alexandra Wilson. What a special afternoon.
Great to
I'm
be here.
Dave Schwartz. Good to see you.
And I'm Maria LaRosa. As
Yes.
Dave mentioned, we have a very stormy afternoon ahead of us for parts of the south, and that rain is moving north and east. A look at Myrtle Beach showing that right now you may not want to dip your toes into the water, and that's good to hear. Hopefully everyone's getting the word and they're preparing and they are aware of changing weather situations, whether it's flash flooding or severe weather. And we're going to bring you everything as it happens. And we're seeing some strong thunderstorms across the south. Part of the problem is we're actually getting some sunshine, some breaks in the overcast. You see that on the visible satellite picture, and that's allowing the ground to heat up and gets you a little extra instability. But you already had some existing showers and thunderstorms that were powerful all on their own. Some of the heaviest rain finally moving out of the Charlotte area, but it's moving off towards the east. Here's I-95. So if you're, say, heading out for the evening rush and 95 is your route, might be a problem in the next few hours. And then this shower right here, along with some of the lightning and the thunder, was originally, earlier, had a severe warning associated with it. That has been allowed to expire, but it still has a lot of heavy rain. And speaking of heavy rain, down 95 along the Florida's eastern coast here near Daytona Beach. It's been raining to beat the band as well. And then the flash flooding that was occurring earlier today in southern Mississippi. Still a possibility here with that flash flood warning for Harrison and Jackson counties in Mississippi. Right along I-10, Mobile, it's in your vicinity right now. And then, of course, what we're tracking in New Orleans. All of these areas have seen a ton of rain over the last week. So any additional rainfall, too much to take. Flash flood watches have been posted from Baton Rouge, New Orleans, all over into Pensacola, including along I-10, where, Dave, we've seen quite the active afternoon so far.
Maria, back to you.
I would be your partner in that, Dave, definitely. Very, very important. Now, maybe dry and dangerous in the southwest, but in the northwest, you're doing a calendar double take here, thanks to scenes like this where April snow showers are causing smiles to bloom, where the snow is just right.